welcome to the WCC Wrap, where we talk about everything basketball and the WCC. We're about a month away from basketball starting, and it appears I'm all by myself right now. Oh, here you are.
Let's go.
Well, I love the spirit and all, but what's going on here?
Well, I figured we were going to talk about St. Mary's this week, so I wanted to bring a couple props to help liven out the set. I mean, it's all in black and white. This helps a lot more. Besides, this came from the NCAA tournament. Thought you'd enjoy this.
I love the spirit and all, but are we supposed to be unbiased?
I guess so. Yeah, fine. You win. No color. Bah!
Hooray for unbiased journalism. Well, let's talk about last season for St. Mary's. Obviously, St. Mary's lost one of the best big men ever to grace these halls in Omar Samhan, and they lost Ben Allen, who was one of the most under-heralded heroes in last season. If there's one thing that's going to be different about this team, it's going to be their size. They're not going to have that size to rely on anymore.
Yeah, size. All right, let's talk about what they have this year. I mean, yeah, they did lose two near 7-footers, but who do they have coming back? I mean, we know they have more than just those two.
Yes, absolutely. And if you're looking for two of the best guards in the NCAA, I mean WCC and maybe NCAA, when you combine them.
McConnell and Dellavedova. And the two of them did have one of the better assist-to-turnover ratios in the entire nation, and that's as a pair. I mean, they were both like 2.5 to 1 in the category. And we know that McConnell is deadly from 3, 51% last season. Dellavedova coming into a sophomore year. We'll see how he adjusts coming into this year. And then I think another one is Clint Steindl, who's the starting 3 last year, came into the position after forward Wayne Hunter fell to an injury. So,
well, if there's one thing that St. Mary's is going to have to rely on this year, it's going to be continued production from their guards. McConnell proved last year that he is a very good starting caliber guard, absolutely deadly from range. He was half the reason that they won the WCC championship. And Dellavedova is, in my mind, probably the most valuable player coming into this season for the Gales. He's one of the best all-around guards, really good shooter, really good passer, really good defender. You said that you think he's in competition for Defensive Player of the Year?
Delly is definitely going to be one of those players that can be a Defensive Player of the Year. He's scrappy, he's tough, he's going to get in there and put up a fight with some of the other guys that he's going to defend. Like, it could be like Stephen Gray, or it could end up being a Kevin Foster at Santa Clara. It could be one of those guys. So these are going to be top-tier players, and it's going to be a big challenge, but I do think he has the capability. But now the one thing I do think that's a bigger need for St. Mary's is going to be the rebounding. That is something you have to replace 2 7-footers who are averaging almost near 20 rebounds a game combined. So who's going to be taking up that slack?
Well, for the first time in a couple years, St. Mary's is going to actually have to seriously worry about their rebounding. Rob Jones, transfer, he's probably going to be a really big piece. Kenton Walker also is going to be a really big piece. The biggest key guy for St. Mary's now is 6'9". So unlike the last couple of years where size was such an advantage for St. Mary's, it's going to be a much smaller and probably faster-paced team. But hopefully Walker and Jones can, both combine and get the rebounds that St. Mary's needs and produce.
That's definitely going to be a key. And then Rob Jones, this is a guy who there's not going to be much transition for him. This is a conference he's familiar with. When you say he transferred from San Diego, and he was on the San Diego team that actually won the WCC tournament in 2008. He also was on that San Diego team that defeated UConn in the first round. So this is a guy who has postseason experience, knows how to bang with other prominent big guys. He knows what the job entails. Now the one guy I know that's going to be a huge factor in all of this, especially could be the X factor for the entire team, is Steindl. Like A lot of people say that the biggest shift in a player's maturation is usually between the sophomore and junior year. This is where Steindl is at this point, and now we'll see exactly how much he improves after this one season. We've always seen that he has the touch. It's now a matter of whether or not he has the confidence and can put it all together.
He absolutely has the touch, and in a faster pace offense, the Gales are going to need him to be a major weapon now that they can no longer completely rely on interior scoring. All right, let's talk about the 2008 WCC champions. Do you remember who that was?
Yeah.
I think you're
Them?
I think you're forgiven considering that year after they won the WCC championship, they didn't do anything, and last year they finished 6th in the league. So, how do they look there coming into this year?
San Diego is in a complete rebuilding mode. I mean, they've lost a lot in the offseason. They lost Roberto Mafra. They lost Brandon Johnson. They lost Dejon Jackson. All of these guys were key pieces to their team, and two of them, Jackson and Johnson, were both on that WCC championship team. And a lot of these guys, this is the one thing you have to really look at. All of those guys were recruited not by their current coach Bill Greer, but by the old coach Brad Howland. So that's one thing you have to actually look at with this team. So now this is now completely Bill Greer's team, and so now he's really going to have to be looking at some of his other players to rely on. So
well, Coach Bill seems to have found a really good piece in the season. So what do you think of their newest addition?
Ben Vizzola is going to be a huge piece to this puzzle. He is a very highly touted guard. He is a 92 ranked by ESPN, so he will make an immediate impact in this conference. He's a big time scorer. Now one of the things he does need to improve on is his strength, and that is usually a lot of the times an issue with freshmen coming into a conference. All that sort of stuff. Strength is an issue. Now they are going to have to rely on the youth of this team. Vizzola is going to be able to finish at the rim and is going to be really good in a catch and shoot capacity. Now the one thing is, now can they get him the ball, and that will be the job of the seniors Devin Ginty and Matt Dorr. That will be kind of their responsibility to make sure that all their young players are going to be able to mesh and be able to put together at least give them some sort of chance in the conference schedule.
Yeah.
As far as like what they have going for them, is I don't, because of the type of team they are, like what type of schedule have they been able to put together?
Well, San Diego has a pretty impressive schedule. They've got a game at New Mexico. They've got a game at San Diego State, which is always good. There's a little town rivalry. And then they've got the Diamond Head Classic, which has such teams as Baylor. They're guaranteed to play Baylor. Then they play either Washington State or Mississippi State. And then you can play Utah, Butler, Florida State, and finish it off with a game at NC State. So that is one of the best pre-conference schedules in the WCC.
It might actually be one of the better schedules outside of Gonzaga, who they are always able to get the top-notch schedule. Now, because like one thing with San Diego, it's like because they're in that flux of players shifting in and out, it's like, and a lot of young players coming in, it's like, what sort of chance do you actually have to give them?
Well, it really does depend on Vizzola's and how quickly he can come in. Is he going to be an elite scorer right off the bat? Is he going to have an impact like Patty Mills did 3 years ago for St. Mary's? Or is he going to be average? Is he going to take 2 years to mature? Because if that's the case, San Diego really is just going to struggle, and they're not even going to be as good as last year's team that finished 6th.
All right, so thanks for watching our preview of St. Mary's and San Diego for the West Coast Conference season. Until next time, I'm Zach Farmer.
And I'm Bryant West, and next week we'll talk about San Francisco and Santa Clara. We'll see you then. You could have probably did